Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. Today I want to talk about the times that we're living in, what's going on, and also what the future holds. Now this has been accurately predicted by an author and scientist named Neil Howes, and we're going to talk about that today. Apparently, we only need to stick it out for about another 5 years.
2 years ago, I came to live in one of the most dangerous cities in Mexico. I had gotten divorced in the US and did not want to return to a cold, lonely lockdown in Canada. I was alone, grieving, and unemployed. Someone on Facebook offered me an apartment in this city, so I took a chance and my life has blossomed. I have the simple, sun-filled life I've always wanted, a new language, new experiences and friends, and I love sharing my journey and tips here to inspire you to take chances, be brave, and live your very best life.
Actually, this whole video was sparked by my viewing of another YouTuber's video. Her name is Kidology, and she's this beautiful, successful YouTuber who lives in London, and she was talking about the loneliness epidemic and how she has never felt or been so alone in her life, that when she got really sick, she's used to just recovering, and she could just sense and feel in her body that her body had given up. And her body was kind of like, yeah, we don't know what there is to continue going on for. She had lost her will to live, and this made me feel extremely sad, but it was also a feeling I could kind of relate to. And from one of the comments on that video, it seemed that a lot of people were feeling this way, saying things like, I have all these savings and investments, and I worked my whole life, and now I'm watching everything just kind of go down the drain. And at this point, I can't really picture a future for myself, and everything is so uncertain. I just don't feel like there's any hope. And to be honest, I put off this video for a while because I didn't want to come on here and start off with some false positivity and giving you hope, like we can't give up, we got to stick with it, that we can't let the bad guys win, blah blah blah. It gets to a point where it's just like, how much more of this can we take? Apparently, we only need to stick it out for about another 5 years. I know. So this guy Neil, he predicted that somewhere around 2019, 2020, there was going to be a major worldwide something. He didn't know what it was, but he's like, it's going to affect business, education, healthcare, travel, and the whole world will be up in arms, right? We're going to see a lot of rebelling. We're going to see a lot of government clampdowns. We're going to see a lot of, tyranny and corruption. And look, so this guy basically predicted the pandemonium. And so what he talks about in this book is that human society goes through 4 stages, and it has gone through these 4 stages in a cycle over and over again throughout history, right? Many people forget that humans are creatures, right? We are mammals. We are beings on this earth. So just like a caterpillar has stages that it goes through in its life, that's part of science, humans do as well, individually, but also collectively. And so human history can easily be predicted. Let me explain the 4 turnings to you, and you can see if you can guess which one we're in right now. So there's 4 turnings. The first one is the time of strong men, which creates the second one, the time of good times, right? This is when things are good. Business is booming, people are happy, the crops are raised up. There's lots of travel, new inventions, new ideas. And so people have an easy life. So we have the strong men, good times, which is easy times. And the easy times lead to weak men, the time of weak men. And what do the time of weak men lead to? Bad times. We're currently in the 4th turning, the bad times. Now, the good thing about the bad times and all of these cycles is that they are predicted and predictably have run on 10-year cycles. So with this one, we've got another 5 to 7 years left. And if we can make it through this time, we will enter the first turning, which is the time of strong men and good times. So what this says to me is that even though right now it feels like the fall of Rome, right? We're seeing corruption everywhere. We're seeing wickedness in human beings. We're seeing societal standards of beauty and decency completely turned on its head, right? And being marketed to the public as something good. Those of us who can make it through this time will have prosperity and peace and decent people to choose from for partnership in the future. People who made it through this time with strength, dignity, and discernment. So in order to make it to the good times ahead that are guaranteed just in the same way that the tide comes in and goes out, the same way that the leaves bloom, prosper, die, and fall, the good times have to come in human history, but we have to make it through, and that's not going to be easy. Now, the most important thing you can do during these times is to prepare yourself for success, to enjoy every moment, the little things in every moment and every day, because we don't know when will be our last, right? But to prepare yourself for the future as if you knew it was certain. Let me give you an example. There is the goddess of all YouTubers, and anybody who denies this, who's been on YouTube for 10 years and more, is lying. But one of the major goddesses of YouTube is a woman called Teal Swan. She started out on YouTube in a very humble way. However, she was paving the way for what she has created for herself now, which is a YouTube channel with, millions of subscribers. She's got lots of world tours. She does, $1 million book deals. She has her own cult living in Costa Rica. But those of you who are like me, who remember her from her humble beginnings, I remember watching her videos when she had less than 3,000 subscribers. And I was like, oh, look, she made it to 5,000. This is awesome. She used to film in her garage, and she was making it seem as if she was speaking to an audience. The kind of audience that did not exist back then, but that she now has in her sold-out auditoriums on her world stage tours. This is the same attitude that we have to adopt when we first want to get into YouTube and make YouTube videos. I have this weird thing where I can watch a video from a YouTuber I've never seen before, and I can tell you if it's from a popular channel, like, somebody with, let's say, over 50,000 subscribers, or somebody with less than 5,000 subscribers. I can tell you it every time. The trick to getting a lot of subscribers on YouTube is from the jump to act like you are already a popular and famous YouTuber, to have the confidence in your future, to have confidence in the audience that you can't yet see, right? That's what faith is. It's believing in the unseen reality. I do love quoting from the Bible. I'm not a religious person, but I do believe that the Bible has a lot of occult knowledge that's kind of hidden into the scriptures. And one of my favorites comes from Exodus, when the Lord says, "Behold, I send an angel ahead of you to keep you on your path and lead you to the place I have prepared for you." Now, people from my mode of thinking consider the angel to actually be the subconscious mind. Our overarching consciousness is like the God that gives the orders to the subconscious mind to make things appear in our reality. So this is what we need to start doing. Now, there's a really excellent, very, very simple phrase and quote from this book that came out in 2012, sending the angel of the subconscious mind out into reality and getting it to return the result that we want. to create the reality that we want to see before us. 3 simple words: be, do, have. That's it. And underlying all of this is one big word: give. So let's talk about the first one today: be. If you have a future that you want to prepare for, right? Like maybe right now you're extremely lonely. You can't meet any partners who don't bend over and take it from the government the second the government tells them they have to do it, right? Or maybe you want a family, or maybe you want a better job or a business. You have a vision for the dharma of your life, the offerings that you have to give and share with the world, and you're looking for the opportunities to realize them. But the way things are right now, you really can't see it happening. That's okay. We're going to go on faith, and we're going to begin with the be. So we want to begin living and acting as if we have these things already, or that they are currently being prepared for us, right? So if we're sitting here saying like, oh, this sucks, I can't meet anybody, so I'm just going to play video games and eat junk food and ice cream and cry all day. How is your future perfect partner going to see you when they show up in your reality? They're going to be repulsed, right? You're not preparing the runway for your blessings. This is how I became a martial artist. I went from being a chubby housewife in Montana to moving to Mexico, divorced. And I'm like, I need to get my feet on the ground and then start building myself up strong right now, because I'm back to square one and I'm by myself in a foreign country. And this was one of the best things I could have done. I remember the moment I made a shift in my mind. I was going shopping for groceries and I saw this like really undignified food. It was like some brightly colored packaging with like sugar and fat and whatever. And I'm like looking at it and like thinking about the price. And then I just kind of had this thought in my mind, and I'm like, I want to be a martial artist. Is eating this what a martial artist would eat to fuel their body? And the answer was no, so I put it back. So when we start living from the result that we want, not only do our lives improve, we start to believe in and respect ourselves, but we're preparing the runway for that actual future to actualize. So want to know something else that's really cool about this book? So there are certain archetypes that arise within humanity during the different turnings. And during the current turning that we're in, there are 4 archetypes that arise: the hero, the nomad, the artist, and the prophet, right? These 4 archetypes are the kind of people who will be rising in strength during this time. So stop and think, which one might you be? And I don't mean to humble brag, but I feel like I'm a little bit of all 4. Actually, I'm going to make a video on these 4 archetypes during the fourth turning coming up soon. So please go ahead, subscribe, and hit the notifications so you don't miss it. Choose the archetype for yourself. Think about your life and what that could be looking like for you now. Some people asked in my last video what the readings that I was doing, like what are my readings about, because I've started doing readings with my clients lately, and these are archetype readings. So I recently started getting into my roots, and I don't know if you guys know, but Ramcharan is a name that means at the feet of God in Sanskrit. And I have a spiritual history in my family. And the more I research it, the more astounded I become. And I'm very obsessed with this idea of dharma, which is an old, ancient Indian concept about the right way of living. Everybody has a dharma. And, in our current society, in our capitalistic society, we may tie this in with career and work. But everybody has a way of life for which things will flow for them, and they will experience ease. And if you're not living in your dharma, you will suffer. And you can experience your dharma and this sense of ease even under chaotic circumstances and difficult times. You can still experience it. So this is what I've been working on with my clients lately. if you're interested in a video on that, just let me know below. And of course, if you want to book a session and a Dharma reading with me, go ahead and click the link below as well. So go ahead and create an archetype for your life that can get you through these challenging times with grace, to build your strength for the first turning to come. So for me, I like to visualize it as well. And one thing that I used, and this is not sponsored, I tried though, believe me, I use this app called Remini, and I'm gonna link that below. You can use the free trial or you can pay the $5. I did this all with the free trial. And it creates multiple images of you based on some headshots that you feed it. And these headshots, these new images inspired me to strength. They looked like the better, happier, stronger, successful versions of me. I have the photos up around my house in key areas. The bedroom, when I'm trying to sleep and I don't feel like waking up in the morning, my office, and the kitchen. During this time, imagine that your child self and your future self are sitting in a theater watching your life play out on the big screen. What do you want them to see you doing? Imagine they're watching you every second of every day. I also had a wonderful and beautiful dream of heaven. This was probably about 6 months ago. A friend of mine on Facebook, his name's Will Markham, I'll link him below as well. He was like, "Do you want me to send you an angel?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." Because I talked about the angel being the subconscious mind. However, I do also believe that there is a version of angels that are physical. Just like I also believe and have experienced that there are versions of demons on this reality. There's a lot going on here that the average person is not aware of. So anyway, I said, yes, thank you, sure. And I promptly forgot about it. I was having a busy day. Later that night, I had a dream of heaven. I had an old friend there who I used to work with at a makeup counter. Her name was Inez. She was a pretty spiritual person. Her and I used to talk all the time. I'm going to link her below too. She was there in a robe, and there were a bunch of people. We were on this pristine beach that was reflected in the sky, and it had an opalescent and gold hue to everything, and it was like blue and white. And my higher self was there, personified. She had a thicker, stronger, longer braid. She had on a white bathing suit. She had a healthy, fit body that was unblemished, that didn't contain all of the scars, physical and emotional, that I carry because of my journey here on earth. And I felt rejuvenated, and I felt admired for the fact that I was so imperfect, the fact that I was here in the trenches working through all of this for some reason that I don't fully understand. I hope this video inspired or helped you in some way. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.